We're here on video 4 of 5 for our 7 days of reduced or adjusted caffeine consumption. I'm Michelle, the Unshakable Mama, and I'm here to help you remain unshakable and become unshakable. So nothing or nobody can derail you from making sure that the things that are most important to you in life happen. Whether it's that, sitting down and watching a film with your child or your husband, or whether it's getting to a particular class, going for a run, making a holiday happen that you've been dreaming of. When we get really clear on what it is that we actually want in life and we can focus on these things, it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This is living your best life. And I very much desire for you to feel like you're in control of your life, that you're in control of your time, your energy, your finances. Hey, lovely, your finances, and ultimately your destiny. Now, if you know me, you know that I just show up as I am. So you've got me with my wet hair this morning. There's no filters. I like to advocate the raw and real of life. Because the challenges always happen, like we're not always glam. Life isn't glam. And what I'm learning is that the more simple life can be, the more fun I have, the more time I have for the things I want to be doing, rather than worrying about blow drying my hair and stuff like that, putting makeup on, whatever. So no filters, here I am. So we're talking this week about reducing your caffeine consumption or adjusting it. So either, like in my case, I used to drink maybe a couple of cups of coffee a day and a cup of tea a day. And I would drink it because I felt like I needed that boost. But something happened recently where I wasn't able to drink tea and coffee. I went away and it just wasn't, I didn't get the opportunity to feel like I needed it. Yeah, I probably did need it. I probably was craving a coffee, but I just didn't get the chance. And I realised that I felt quite detoxed from it. And what I've learned is that whether I drink coffee or not, I say coffee, I mean just caffeinated drinks, basically, because I know that, well, me and I know a lot of you drink a lot of caffeine to keep yourself going. So whether that's cold drinks, because I know some of you don't drink hot drinks, so it might be cold drinks in the form of energy drinks or that kind of thing, fizzy drinks, the caffeinated soft drinks, that kind of thing, because they do have an awful lot of caffeine in them, some of them, or whether it's tea or coffee. When I say coffee, I mean just like caffeinated drinks. But yeah, so what I've learned is that whether I'm drinking the caffeine or not, I still feel exhausted. But actually, when I'm not having as much caffeine, I feel a lot calmer in myself. I feel a lot more at peace in myself, and I feel a lot I feel kind of, I was saying yesterday, I feel kind of purer. I feel like my blood's purer. I feel like I'm more connected with myself and what I actually need. So if I'm tired, I'm more likely just to be like, okay, let's just have a few minutes of downtime, or let's just go outside and get some fresh air, or let's have a dance to wake myself up, rather than being like, oh, let's get the caffeine, because the caffeine hit, like the sugar crash, it spikes and then it crashes, and then you just need more, and then you just get into this cycle. So part of this is I'm really happy because I'm holding myself accountable by speaking to you every day. And yesterday I had my 1 cup of coffee. It's more of a just because I like the flavour, not because I'm like, I really need a coffee. Although today I do feel like I really need a coffee, and I am actually going to go meet a friend later for a coffee. And and I'll tell you in a minute why I need it. But yeah, so yesterday I just had my one coffee, and then come the afternoon I was actually feeling like I needed a pick-me-up. I've been recently reaching for like the peppermint teas, or the herbal teas. Peppermint's a really good stimulant. Mental, can alleviate mental fatigue and physical fatigue, which is really great. And of course, energy, exercise is great for that. But rest too. Like sometimes we feel tired because we're just thinking too much. We have decision fatigue, and sometimes we just need that downtime to switch off, to switch off your brains and just be for a little bit. But yeah, yesterday I was due to take my son to Army Cadets, and which means that I sit in the car for 2 hours in town, because we live out in the country, so there's not really much point me coming home. And my husband's away at the moment on business, so that meant last night taking my youngest with me as well, which is not ideal because he's 8, and he needs to be in bed a bit earlier really than 9:30, 9:45, but hey ho. But yeah, I went for the peppermint tea instead, and I was really proud of myself, and I had a bit of a rest with the boys. We just watched a bit of TV, and yeah, it was good. So I felt good. I felt really accomplished for resisting and for the willpower. And ordinarily I would sleep a lot better. Although when we went to leave last night, I've got a flat battery on the car. My husband's got the other car, so I'm literally stuck on the farm in the pitch black. It's so dark here, and yeah, so it was a bit disappointing. But the thing is, because I've got a doctor's appointment today, and it's something that I've been putting off booking, it's like an ongoing health thing that they've never figured out what's wrong with me, but it's got quite bad again recently. Don't worry, I'm fine, but it's just like a quality of life thing, and I don't know. Anyway, it just needs to be looked at. Plus I have a smear test. I'm sharing this because people are always talking about, check your breasts and everything. There's so many people I've heard recently with breast cancer diagnosis, which is really sad, but hopefully you've had a smear test recently as well. That's really, really important as well, because obviously you can't really check that yourself where you can your breasts. So anyway, that's a complete aside, but because it took me a lot of courage to build up, it took a long time to build up the courage to actually book the doctor's appointments and speak to the doctor, and even book the smear test. That's more because it's just not a nice thing. And I was really worrying about getting there last night, and I couldn't sleep. So that's why I need a coffee today. But we know that caffeine can cause the jitters. Like there was a time a few years ago where I gave up drinking coffee and tea just because it was, but particularly like coffee shop coffee, because it was stronger. So when people were going to the coffee shop at work, when I was working in an office years ago, I would just like decline, because it gave me the shakes. It was really bad. It really heightened my anxiety. This was when I was going through a really bad time a few years ago, and this was like the beginning of Unshakable Mama, when I was like, I just need to soothe my nervous system. I need to feel regulated. I need to feel calm. I want to feel like I'm in control again of my life. Like I was just so tired of and so frustrated and overwhelmed, and I just wanted to slow down time. That's all I wanted. Like I just felt like I was constantly chasing my tail. I had this like knot of anxiety in my stomach permanently, and I remember driving along, just like I'd press the brake pedal on my way to an evening massage. This is when I was massaging. So I was working in an office and I was massaging. I was just like, I just want to slow down time. I just wanted the brake pedal to slow down time. And we were doing house renovations, and we had 2 young boys at the time. They're still young. Well, they're 12 and 8. I still think that's young, but they're getting old. They're getting on a bit. And yeah. And I was just like, I needed to do something about this. So I did stop drinking coffee. And it really made a massive difference to my anxiety levels to my levels of stress, and how clear-headed I felt. I find that drinking a lot of coffee or, caffeine, it can make you feel very muddy-headed. And right now, when I'm just having my 1 cup a day, I definitely feel a lot more focused and a lot more clear-headed. As in, I can make decisions. As I was saying, it's like a purer kind of exhaustion. It's a purer energy that I have. So yeah, it's just really interesting. So this is just an invitation again for you to consider where you could adjust your caffeine consumption, whether it's just, delaying that first morning cup to like for an hour to help with the natural cortisol levels, to help your body naturally wake you up, whether it's, just swapping out 1 coffee for decaf, and then maybe like your decaf for some herbal teas or water or something. But just like that, there's always an opportunity to make adjustments, little tiny adjustments, and play with it. Get really curious about, like, okay, what happens if I delay this cup of tea for 10 minutes? What happens if I have a drink of water when I have a coffee as well? Because caffeine is it's a diuretic, which means that if you don't, you have to make sure it basically makes you pee more. So if you're not drinking enough water alongside your caffeine, it means that your brain shrivels up. So that's another reason why, why I'm feeling more clear-headed at the moment, is because my brain is plumper because I'm not as dehydrated. I do drink a lot of water anyway. But yeah, it's just something to consider. And there's just always an opportunity to play, like maybe have a decaf before bed instead of a caffeinated, or don't drink after a certain time in the afternoon, that kind of thing. So yeah, just play, get curious, and we're by becoming unshakable is about those tiny little step changes. It's not about big change. Like when I made that decision I just needed to soothe my nervous system, it was very small, subtle changes, because I knew I couldn't take on a lot. I was already at absolute maximum capacity with work, looking after the house, looking after the boys and all of the, the school stuff, and had a small baby. I was possibly breastfeeding. I can't remember, or maybe I just finished. I can't remember. No, I think I'd stopped breastfeeding because I was massaging and I couldn't, he wouldn't take a bottle, so I couldn't actually work when I couldn't massage when I was breastfeeding. Yeah, house renovations, all sorts going on. My nana got really ill. She broke her hip. My husband got really ill. Nearly died, and yeah, just there was so much stuff, but I was absolutely maxed out. I just could not. I had no more brain space for anything. But what I could do was small, tiny, subtle little changes that have literally built and built and built. They set really, really amazingly strong foundations for me to leap forward every so often in my life, like this move to Scotland. But it meant that my mindset was really, really strong. My nervous system was able to hold the bigger change. But we have to start small. It's the small things that stick. So like a peppermint tea first thing in the morning, just to get all the digestion working, just to rehydrate everything. 5 minutes of yoga, rather than stressing that I couldn't get to like an hour's yoga class or a monthly massage, or I used to really enjoy doing aerial what's it called, like the silks and the hoops. I used to do that before I got pregnant with my youngest. That was brilliant. But yeah, I couldn't do that anymore because I couldn't find the time, didn't have the capacity with 2 children in the house renovations and working in the evenings and stuff, and plus financially as well, there was a lot of money going out on the house renovations, and yeah, And it was just, yeah, these tiny little changes that have just made the massive difference. And I didn't realize at the time how powerful these tiny little changes would be. It was literally just like a little change, and then, you know, and then like a mindful habit, like maybe mindful breath, maybe a little dance, a bit more movement. And I would just start to use these throughout my day whenever I was feeling really overwhelmed, and just to reset myself. And amazing things have happened, like seriously, like things that I never dreamt would happen. Well, I did dream it, obviously, but I dreamt it, but I didn't know it would ever happen. It was so far out of my realms of reality. But yeah, some things have sort of happened well in advance of when I thought they might be. Some things are taking longer, but that's just life, and it will happen when it's meant to happen, you know. So right, so I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you tomorrow for day 5 of our 5 videos for 7 days of reduced and adjusted caffeine. Do invite your friends into this group, into this community, because I know that you've got frazzled working mums who want to feel like she's in control of her time and energy, who wants to feel calmer, just want to you know, find peace within herself and laugh more. Just laugh more, rest more, have more time for fun, just more time for the things that matter most to her, to you. This is what we're doing it. This is what we're doing this for. And ultimately, the whole family benefits. The whole family benefits from you making a decision to show up as the best version of yourself every day. You know, I've noticed a huge, like my husband used to joke, oh, I'm just being dragged along, dragged along for the ride. But the reality is that his life has calmed as well, and his mindset is shifting slowly. Not that, you know, he's brilliant before. I didn't want to change him. I didn't need to change him, but I have just noticed changes in him as I've grown and evolved. He's a lot more calmer. He's much happier about resting. He doesn't always, like if I suggest something that costs money, he used to be like, how much? Oh no, we can't spend that. And now he's like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, let's pop out for dinner. Yeah. That kind of thing. So yeah, so it's really lovely, and then you get to spend a lot more family time together. So invite your friends, and do let me know what little shifts and changes you've made this week, what tweaks you've made, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. That's all.